So what we're going to do here is to start from the creation of a spreadsheet and then try to fill in the columns using the power of the spreadsheet. So you can see I'm here at Google. What I'm going to do is go to these little dots up in the corner. I'm going to click and hold, and then I see Sheets. I'm just going to click on Sheets. And at the top I can see blank, so I'm going to go click on blank. Yay! Now I would like column title. So in the first spot, I'm just going to type month. On the next spot, I'm going to say, how about current amount? In the next spot, I'm going to say calculated interest. And then I want the new amount after I add the interest in. So I'm not going to do anything with those titles until the end when I read them again. Now for months, I'd like the months to start at 1 and go up every month. Now this first month doesn't depend on anything, so put a 1. Now if you didn't understand what I meant by doesn't depend on anything, let me say this. I'm now at the second month, and that really depends on the first month. It's really just that previous month plus 1. Now if a cell ever depends on a previous cell, what you always want to do is start with an equal. So I'm going to put an equals in. What I want is that previous cell, so I go to the previous cell and I just click on it, and you can see that I put an A2 in my cell. Now what do I want? I want the number in this cell to be 1 more than the previous one. So I have the previous cell plus 1, and then I press enter and I put the 2. And you might think, gee, I could have typed a 2, and you're right. But now we can do something we couldn't do before. I'm going to put that cell over there. I'm going to click on that cell. I'm going to take my cursor. I'm going to go over to the blue dot. I'm going to left click on the blue dot and drag all the way down to 25. And you can see now I actually have a slot, a number for each of the first 24 months. And I only had type 1 and then know the relationship. Now going back up here, the current amount, well, the current amount at the very beginning is just $500. That doesn't depend on anything, so I'm just going to put in $500. Yay. Now the calculated interest, I don't know if it'll let me actually make this cell just a little bit. Yay, it did. I just want to be able to see the whole word. It does depend on the 500. Now how does it depend on the 500? It's equal to the previous cell, so don't type 500, just type the previous cell, times the interest rate. Well, the interest rate was 0.032, but that was for a whole year. Right? We don't get a whole year's interest in 1 month. We only have to take the whole interest and divide by 12. And that should give us the interest generated by that $500 for that 1 month. Yay! So what I'm going to do now for the new amount, well, that certainly depends on the previous 2 new amounts. So I'm going to do is put an equal and just click on the 500. That's the amount. Put a plus sign, and then click on the new one, and now it'll give me the interest. It'll look like that, which is nice. Now I'm going to go over to the second spot. Now that second spot, it really is exactly the same thing as this slot right here. So it certainly depends on that. So I start this with an equal, and then just go click on that second spot. I'm happy about that. Now how am I going to fill in these two? Well, we've just done enough work so this works really, really well. Just these are the 2 cells that I want to see updated. So I highlight both cells, I go to the blue dot, and I just drag down 1. And you can see that the current amount at the beginning was $501.33. The calculated interest gives me $1.34. And the new amount is $502.67. In our credit card application, we are going to have to learn how to round those things because you get rounded. Now, if I want to update the whole next row, well, the 3's already there, so I'm just going to highlight this month. And I'm just going to go down a row. Yay, and if I've done things right, remember right here, the $502.67 is how much it was at the end of last month. Here's my new interest. Here's my new total. And now I could actually find out how much I would have after 2 years just by dragging all the way down. Just like that. And we can say that after 2 years, not much interest is getting generated here, but we have $531.58. At the end of the 24th month, we have $533. Now, if someone comes up and says, you buffoon, you're supposed to go 3 years, not 2. Well, we've done enough work so we now can easily do this. I'm just going to go highlight that whole row, and I'm just drag that down to 37. Dragging down to 30. Come on. It just said no. I'll try this again. Dragging down to 37. Just like that. And you can see now I have 36 months, and after 3 years, I have $548. If someone said, when will that hit 1,000? I can just drag down until this number right here is 1,000. That's the basics about what we're going to have to do with our credit card project and spreadsheet.